This is a pretty long video, so I'm doing a quick intro. There will be links in the description to parts of the video so you can jump around easier. I do a lot of explaining in this, so if you want to skip all the explaining and just skip to the building, you can go ahead and do that. I do misspeak a couple times in this video, and it takes me laughably long to place that ender tank over there, but yeah, feel free to jump around, and thanks for watching. Hello YouTube, and today I will be showing you how to make infinite lava in Tekkit. I believe this is Tekkit on Minecraft 1.6.4, and the method I'll be using is this tree farm that you see before you. Originally, I had a Minecraft world with this system in it, so this is a pretty commonly used system. It is 3 redstone engines around a pump. You put this in the nether with an ender tank and a chunk loader on top of it, and it pumps lava from a lava pool up and into the tank. And this is a good system. If you find a big lava pool, this can last for a very long time, but it is not, see, there you go, it's starting. It is not infinite. It is not an infinite source of power, but it does, as you can see here, it's deteriorating. It does last for a very long time. However, it's not truly infinite. You do have to go in the nether and switch it around, and if you have items that need to be powered 24/7, this cannot be ideal because you'll have to stop and go, especially if you're on the server and you leave the server, and for a while this will deplete all of your power, and you'll come back and everything will have no power and you'll have to revamp your whole system, which sucks. So instead I have designed this, and this is a tree farm using a harvester and a planter, some redstone furnaces. Basically it harvests, it plants these saplings and then uses a harvester to harvest them. Plants them with a planter, harvests them with a harvester, and then sorts them. It sends all of the wood out into redstone furnaces to be created into charcoal, and it sends all of the saplings back into the planter, which is in the middle there, and it plants them back up again, and it cycle goes all over. And both of these have an emerald upgrade in them to increase their radius by 11, so it's a 12 by 12 space. The apples are just a byproduct. In fact, you could instead use rubber trees or something and get rubber from this instead. I just decided to use normal oak because it's just the basic Minecraft tree. So basically how it works is these redstone furnaces put charcoal, have charcoal in them, and they put charcoal into these Steam Dynamos, which are getting water from these Aqueous Accumulators here, which don't require any power. They pump water up on their own, no power, which is why I'm using them, very easy. They pump water up into the Steam Dynamos. The Steam Dynamos take the charcoal from the redstone furnaces and they put them into Lava Fabricators. And what Lava Fabricators do is they take energy and turn it straight into lava. They take the lava and it's pumped out with these redstone engines, and it's pumped into iron pipes, which are one-way pipes, so they can only flow one direction so the pipes don't get clogged, and they're put here into this ender tank to use elsewhere. Now, some of you may be wondering, just say that, some of you may be wondering why I'm not just putting this straight into an energy conduit and storing the power from the Steam Dynamos. And the reason is, if you put them in an ender tank, you can put the lava anywhere, and you could have it on, for example, I have a space base on my server, and so a space base on the overworld, I'm planning on building a base on top of the nether, where I can put a particle accelerator. So this can be put anywhere. I don't have to transfer power, and if I have a chunk loader, which will keep this chunk loaded at all times, this system will never stop running, and I will always have power. And so I can put this lava anywhere, attach it to magmatic engines, and power things very easily. And so this is the system. Basically, you put out a thing of dirt around 12 by 12 around a planter, and you leave it. You build it, and you leave it, and you never have to come back to it. It'll always generate power. It does cause some lag to be around, so I would suggest putting it somewhere where you're not looking at it. You can even hide it off thousands of blocks away and never come back to it. As long as it has a chunk loader, it will be fine. Yep, and that is my system of infinite power. Now to go into building it. So these are the materials which I'll put in the link in the description to build it, and I will build it here along this area. I've already laid out the dirt because laying out the dirt is just boring. And here are the materials. So you'll need, what is this, like 114 dirt, about 3 stacks, or a little over 2 stacks. A chunk loader, which will keep the chunks loaded. Planter and harvester, both with emerald upgrades. 50 redstone energy conduits. You could use other things to transfer power, but this is my preferred power transporter. 24 redstone furnaces, and right, this is just for one side of this. So you only need one side. The rest is just more efficiency and running, constantly creating more lava. But you only need one side. This is a lot of materials. You don't necessarily need the whole thing. You can just keep adding. So this right here is for one side. I probably should have specified that earlier in the video. All right, you need 24 lava fabricators, 24 redstone furnaces. I use 66 iron fluid pipes. You can use 64. An ender tank to store your lava, aqueous accumulators to pull up the water, and an infinite water source. I just put 1 bucket in here. I'm creative, so I won't need more than that. 32 stone transport pipes and a diamond transport pipe to sort the items. The stone transport to move the items to the redstone furnaces. Redstone engine to power wooden fluid pipes to suck the fluid out of the lava fabricators. Make sure that you use fluid pipes. You use cacti and you cook them and then turn that to string to create a fluid pipe. Make sure you don't use normal wooden pipes. And anything to power the redstone engines. I use a combination of levers and redstone torches. Just use whatever. 24 Steam Dynamos and 5 Magmatic Dynamos. You could get away with less, I believe, but I haven't tested it. So finally, you'll need some sort of light source because this will only work in the light, and so it's ideal to have it on somewhere where it can get daylight and then also have light for the night. And then also some chests to store the overflow items. So that would be the wood, because it does not use all of this wood. There's extra wood on the end, and also the apples in that chest right there. So, or you can let them fall into the void. When I first built this, I built it in space, and so all of my extra stuff just floats into the void and burns up in the atmosphere. And then finally, you'll need some saplings to get it started, and some sort of power to get it started, preferably lava in the Magmatic Dynamos. So, before I go into a couple of the building materials, I do want to go over the efficiency just real fast. So, each Magmatic Dynamo takes a bucket of lava and turns it into 108,000 RF. It takes 200,000 RF to create 1 bucket of lava from power. So that is a 20,000 RF loss, which is unfortunate. 1,600 of this, or 16,000 of this goes into here to be stored, and the rest went into lava. So that is unfortunate, but it is only 1 out of every 11 charcoal wasted, and the reward is portable energy, which is ultimately why I'm creating the lava. You can create the lava for whatever. You don't need to create it for the same system. This is just how to create infinite lava. So 1 charcoal equals 20,000 RF. 1 charcoal would be equal to 1 bucket of lava. Or sorry, not 1 charcoal. 10 charcoal would be equal to 1 bucket of lava. 1 bucket of lava is a tenth of a bucket. Wow, I can't speak. 1 charcoal is a tenth of a bucket. 10 charcoal is 1 bucket. It takes 1,600 RF to create charcoal, so you have to subtract that from the system. And finally, so that means that 10 charcoal is 184,000. Should be an extra 0 there. RF. Minus RF for the planter and the harvester. But in my system here especially, I have so many dynamos that it's really a minuscule amount of power lost. So this thing, I counted, I timed it several times, can create 24 wood in about 20 seconds. That's that much wood. Full stack. And assuming we're at maximum efficiency and all of that wood is being put into furnaces, which it's not, but assuming we are, that's about 11.7 million RF, which is 585,000 RF per second. That's 2.9 buckets of lava per second. And just to put in perspective, that's sorry, that RF right there is for if you convert that into lava and then convert it back into power right here. So this is just from generating power, and then you convert it into lava, and this is the power that that lava can create because you lose some power while transferring it into lava. That right there, 526,500 RF per second, is an estimation. I rounded from 11.7 million. That is a little bit of an understatement, but this could be around accurate because it does take some extra power to power the harvester and planter, and that's going to be more power per dynamo depending on how many you have. But to put that in perspective, it takes, I think, about 4 to 5 seconds to create charcoal from 1600 RF. To use a smelter at maximum speed, it takes 1600 RF. About 4 or 5 seconds to smelt something. This system will create, has the potential to create 526,500 RF per second. So that's in perspective how much power this makes, which is a ton. You could make multiple of these, of course, but that is a ton of power. So going into the, it's funny, the bat's back there. Going into some of the materials you need and where to get them, because some of these are going to take some time to get. For the most part, though, not a whole lot in retrospect. Not a whole lot of complicated things. Like you don't have to harvest meteorite from the moon or something like you would have to for like airlocks in space, which sucked, by the way, building space base. That takes a lot of time. So the first thing that's really crucial and what really makes the system work is the emerald upgrade, and you need 2 of them. And for that, this is a crafting recipe, you're going to need 6 emeralds. Emeralds mostly come up in from villager trades or from finding them in extreme hills biomes. If you find them in extreme hills biome, take them as an ore and pulverize them in a pulverizer, you'll get double. Really, emeralds in Tekkit are best used, I'm actually going to change the time here, are best used for upgrades like this. This is really the best use of upgrades, for upgrades in Tekkit, the best use of emeralds. So I would highly advise using emeralds over any other upgrade. Also, each individual radius, radius increase gives you more than the last. And so this last radius increase from 10 to 11 gives you this entire extra outside layer of grass, which is a ton of extra trees. So, tons of extra efficiency. Totally worth it. Get the emerald upgrade. Don't settle for anything less. I would say that this is a necessity. Next thing you'll need is a chunk loader, and you're going to put that in the center just to keep the chunks loaded at all times. So if half the chunks are loaded in the system, it will break. So chunks loaders are often used to make sure things are running 24/7 without breaking, because you will always need this power in your base, assuming. So, enchanting table, surrounded by gold, and eye of ender. You only need 1 of them. Next thing you're going to need is redstone furnaces. For 1 side, you're going to need 24. So for 4 sides, you're going to need 4 times as much of this. It is a lot of resources, I will admit, but if you build something like a quarry system, and I use this first force of infinite power in my world to create a core system in another dimension, and I just strip mined, and I have stacks and stacks of every resource that you can get from mining. So in the end, like copper and iron and stuff, which is used up there, and gold isn't that big of a deal. It can be a hassle, but in Tekkit there's ways to mine very, very efficiently, so try to utilize those. So you need 24 of these. You're going to need item frames in the middle surrounded by bricks. That is a redstone reception coil, I believe. I can check that, actually. Yeah, it's a reception coil. Later you'll use a transmission coil, but that's a reception coil. And then you're going to need a total of 62 machine frames for later stuff. And those are created like so, with glass, iron, and gold. So you'll need about a stack of each resource on here. So 4 stacks of gold, or 4 stacks of iron, 4 stacks of glass, and a stack of gold. Next we have the Lava Fabricators. Now these can be tricky to acquire because you need blaze rods, and then ideally to get the magma cream, if you want to get it the fastest, you can get them by taking a slime ball and combining blaze powder with it, which you get from blaze rods. And so you're going to need a lot of blaze rods for the system, and a lot of obsidian, which you could get from the end, or you could collect lava from the nether, or you could create your infinite lava thing like this and just make obsidian. Either way, magma creams are one of the more time-consuming things. I would suggest farming blazes in a safe manner, and then farming slimes, preferably with a looting sword. And took me about 20 minutes with a looting 3 sword to get enough blaze rods to make a 1 whole side, I believe, which not a whole lot of time, but yeah, it does kind of suck. And slimes, just find a slime chunk or a swamp and get them, and you'll be good. All right, next, planter. This is the recipe: pistons, plastic, copper, redstone reception coil, item frame, pot. Harvester. So this is an Invar axe. Make sure that's Invar, not iron, but I believe these are both just iron shears. So these are not Invar, because you can make Invar shears. So one of each of those. Ender tank here. Dye it whatever you want. This is the orange one. This is what I'm using over there in my system. This is what's I'm pumping the lava into. You can color it whatever you want. So again, you'll need blaze rods. An Aqueous Accumulator, you're going to need about 12 of these. These something servo, first word starts with a P. Super easy to create, just iron, glass, and redstone, I believe. So not that big of a deal. Again, item frames. You need about 12 of those. I think you can do with less, but it's just good just because you don't want anything to blow up. If these don't have, actually, I'm not sure these will blow up, but you want everything to be running. Steam Dynamo, 24 of these. This is just iron. This kind of sucks. Magmatic Dynamos are very, very useful, but they do take up a lot of Invar. This is, let's see, 11 Invar total, which sucks. Up here, this is a redstone transmission coil, and this is opposed to a reception coil earlier. And finally, you're going to need some redstone energy, almost finally. Finally, you'll need some redstone energy conduits, which will be, these are electrum, and this is hardened glass, which you need to pulverize obsidian for. Low-key sucks. Gotta do it. Alright, and then in order to put redstone, these are empty redstone energy conduits. In order to fill them, you have to put block of redstone or just redstone into a magma crucible, and then put the redstone energy conduit empty in the fluid transporter, power them, of course, and then it will put the buckets of redstone into it. And yeah, you can use it. Lastly, you're going to need some redstone engines. These are super basic. Piston, wooden gears, but I thought I'd put them at the end anyways. Alright. So, now that's all out of the way, we can go ahead and start building it. So the first step is I'm going to go ahead and put this planter in the middle. So this is, again, 12 by 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just doing that to show you. 12 out, each direction from the center. Turn it into a square. So boom, planter. You want to have that, make sure it's facing up and 1 block below. Alright, and then over here, in line, you're going to want this harvester. And that's actually the wrong way. So this side, this like grinding side, as I imagine what this is supposed to be, is like it's grinding the trees or whatever. So that's facing the trees. Make sure it's in the middle, right on the edge, one above, just like over there. So next, I am going to run the transport pipe from this guy out here. And I'm actually going to grab the diamond transport pipe real fast. Actually, I'm going to leave that in there and just get it here. Diamond transport pipe. I'm going to put that here. Oh, yes. Make sure you put the emerald upgrades in. Very, very important. Otherwise, this will just be a little 3x3 space, and you won't get anything harvested. Perfect. Don't need that anymore. Alright. So you're gonna, these pipes have filters, and so the colored indicates the direction, and so you're gonna want to, in my case, down is for the oak sapling. You can see it's colored black right there. And so I want to funnel all of the oak saplings here. This doesn't take any power to sort, it just automatically sorts things, which is awesome. So the reason I'm using stone transport pipes here is because they won't connect to cobblestone, so there's no issue in that sense. So these won't flow over into each other. It's very useful to have stone and cobblestone, so you can do stuff like this. Alright. Just along the edge here, by the grass, perfect. And then I'm going to need to grab some wood and yellow and green, and I want it to split out 50-50. So, boom, boom. Alright, perfect. So the next thing I'm going to add is these Redstone Furnaces, and one underneath each of these. One thing that's unfortunate about the Redstone Furnaces is that you should do this for all of your machines, but you should really go into the configuration and make sure that the top is blue, so it takes in, and the bottom is yellow, so it puts out, and all of the rest are empty, because you don't want these accidentally spewing things over into their neighbors. And you don't want this right here, for example, taking in saplings from this. So 2, 1, 2, 1, and you're done. And this is going to take a little bit. This is one of the more tedious parts, so I'm going to stop the video and come back after I've done this. Alright, I'm back. Each one of these has been configured. If you notice, they're all flat on the back, only orange on the bottom, and blue on top. Perfect. So these are going to also need power from the system. So I'm going to go ahead and put these redstone energy conduits along the back. And this guy right here is also going to need power. So just realized I made a small mistake in my build here, because this has to get power somehow. So I guess I will do this. And there's my cobblestone transport pipes, which I also forgot to mention in my recipe chest, although they are among the easiest, if not the easiest, to craft. So each pipe takes glass and whatever material the pipe is made out of. So 2 diamonds and a piece of glass makes 8 of these. Stone is just stone and glass, cobblestone, cobblestone, glass. Pretty simple. This will also need power of some sort. So go ahead and run these along here to give that power as well. Alright, so now these are powered. They need to spit out their materials into these Steam Dynamos. So 1 Steam Dynamo along the bottom. And currently, yes, they are pointing up, but if you use a wrench, you can point them in the correct direction. So let me whip out a wrench real fast. Perfect. I'll need that later, actually. I need to place the Lava Fabricators first. So, the way I place Lava Fabricators is alternating, like this. Because when I first did it, and I put them next to each other, all down on the bottom, this is going to bug me. I put them alternating all down on the bottom, they ran into each other, and I think they just fed lava into each other, and the lava just seemed to disappear. I was very confused. So, I alternated them, and it seems to work much better. So, I'm going to go ahead and do that over here as well. So, just like this. One on the bottom, one on the front, one on the bottom, one on the front. And then you can use the wrenches and hit each one of these once, and they should, as they are, redirect themselves towards the Lava Fabricators. Now for the other side. Perfect. So I'm going to need to have these Lava Fabricators pump this lava out. So I'm going to need for that a wooden fluid pipe. So put one on the bottom of each. And then once you put them on the bottom, you're going to need to put a redstone engine on each of them and power them like so. Put these ones on the ground and these ones facing out. Alright, and then once you've put all those between each of them, each one's on the ground, you can put a redstone torch. You could also use a lever. I'm just going to use a redstone torch. And up here, I'm going to use a lever. And I will go ahead and set all those up and be right back. Alright, so I've placed all of the redstone engines. They all have power and they're starting to run. The next thing I'm going to place is these iron fluid pipes. So these will so iron fluid pipes, as opposed to regular fluid pipes, only allow the liquid inside of them to flow in a single direction. So these solid pipe ends mean that the liquid cannot flow in that direction. And so when you first place them, the liquid can't flow anywhere. So you just click with a wrench and direct them towards wherever you are trying to bring your liquids. So they won't go back up into this pipe again, and they won't go backwards, which means your pipes won't be filled up, which is why I love iron fluid pipes. Iron fluid pipes are fantastic for this. Just a good, clean way to prevent your system from clogging up. Because when I first did this, they all filled with I just used regular cobblestone pipes, and they all filled with lava, and it was just a mess, and I wasn't getting very much lava out of it. Alright, and so you're also going to want to place your ender tank. This one is already filled with... Actually, let me change the color of this, because this is already filled with lava. And I don't want it to be filled with lava. So let's just make it... Okay, purple sounds good. Let's just make it purple. And of course, I'm going to need more than one purple dye. Purple and cyan. Alright, this will work. Perfect. So, empty ender tank, nothing in it. The other one was connected to my previous system. You're going to want to put the ender tank... It's going to bug me if it's not facing the right direction. There we go. Actually, hold up. I think I have... The way I have it over there is like this. I know I'm just being finicky, but there you go. Perfect. And so, make sure all your pipes flow in the direction you want them to. Perfect. And so these will... Once it's in here, it's not going to leave. Blue is up, so it's intake, so it's not going to come back out of this, and even if it did, it wouldn't go anywhere because it'd be stuck in an iron transport pipe. So, perfect. Alright, one thing I did not do earlier is put this chunk loader down. Just put it down right in the middle. Doesn't really matter, but it's gonna... Wow. I'm good at this. And so those lasers will show which chunks it has loaded. Just whenever you put down a chunk loader, make sure that all the space that you want is loaded. And it appears that it is. Alright. Also, why is it night again? Just gonna put some of these around. This is from the Modular Power Suits mod, which I love. One of my favorite mods. Creates a light source, which is what I use to put on the Redstone Furnaces over there. And the reason that I actually do this is because it lights up the edge so that even during the night the trees will grow, which is awesome and very needed. Alright, so we have these redstone furnaces which are getting power. Well, we'll get power from these redstone energy conduits, putting charcoal into a steam dynamo, which is powering the lava fabricators, which are all pumping the lava into this tank. But we need power in the system in the first place. So I'm going to need another wooden fluid pipe. Put that on the back here. I'm going to grab another dynamo, or not a dynamo, a redstone engine. Attach that to the back. And some more fluid pipes. I could spell. Cobblestone fluid pipes will do. Alright. And I'm going to go ahead and put these Magmatic Dynamos, 5 of them, here. And all they're doing is providing power for the system, so this will work. They can all face up. I think they're all facing out. I keep forgetting it's shift. Fortunately, shift is my crouch, but it's also my fly downwards, so I kind of have to tap it real fast. I want to shift place something. Alright, perfect. So now this will pump into these dynamos, which will power the system. So the last thing I'm going to need, I'm going to have to move this for it, is I'm going to need to fill these steam dynamos with steam. And for that, I'm going to use some fluid pipes. And I will use stone fluid pipes. Really, the stone and cobblestone are interchangeable, they just won't connect to each other, so you don't have to like avoid other pipes. You can just run a stone pipe right past a cobblestone pipe and they won't connect to each other. That's really the only difference. Other than that, they are completely interchangeable. The green ones are fluid pipes, and the non-green ones are item transport pipes. The green comes from this item. If you take a cactus green and then some green sort of string, I don't remember what it's like pipe casing? Sealant? Sealant. Yeah, pipe sealant. So pipe sealant comes from cacti, and so that's what causes it to become green, and that's what you need for fluid pipes. Alright, so the last thing that I need to do is put these aqueous accumulators down with a water around them, and I should be good. I'm going to put 6 of them on either side. Let's see, it doesn't really matter how you set these up. Oh, it's going to bug me if they aren't in line with each other. And they aren't. Oh, and you want to make sure that you place them sideways like this, I do believe. Although, because I don't believe the front collects any water. I could be wrong, but just in case, place them sideways. So, not like I did it at first. And then, 1 thing of water on either side is fine for these. There you run at almost max efficiency. If perhaps max efficiency this way. So, oh, I forgot I covered that up. And I'm going to need that sandstone I just got rid of. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Alright. Oh, the system also produces infinite sludge, because the harvester sludge, yes, I believe. The harvester produces sludge as a byproduct, and so you can pump that sludge out, and I'm pretty sure all you can use for sludge is to condense it into like random items, random like useless items. So if you want to also create a random useless item generator. You can do that. Recommend it, but you can do it. Again, I'm going to use iron fluid pipes here because I love iron fluid pipes. They just make sure that things only go in one direction. Alright, and then this pipe should fill up, and 6 should be plenty. I think you could potentially do it with less. That's like one block of water for one. One block of water for one Steam Dynamo. So that is plenty of water. They do not use water that quickly at all. This is probably overkill, but it's good to be overkill and underkill, because underkill means your system doesn't work, and overkill means your system works too well, which isn't a real problem. Alright, perfect. And it looks like that should be it. These should be filling up with water shortly. This one's of course going to fill first. So all the system needs is some power to get it started, and of course, some saplings. Oh, and also, this is going to, well, it's going to run with wood, and that's going to spit out on both ends, and so that's why I would suggest having a wood chest. I have a wood chest in the back of mine. I don't think it's gotten, it takes a while to get to max efficiency. You have to let it sit for a while for all of the furnaces to fill up, and then it will start spitting out excess wood. What's going backwards? That's interesting. It actually might have, I just realized that. It might have hit max, yep. Alright. What is piling up? Actually, if I use an iron, actually, yeah, I'm just going to take this time to show you guys the back here. There we go. Perfect. So I built this on all 4 sides. It still runs out of wood. It's still extra wood, so you could use that whatever you want. You could turn it into charcoal and create more. Use that for power too, or you could use whatever you want for the wood. And yeah, so it's working at full efficiency right now. So that's the ideal situation. So the other thing that I need to do is use an iron transport pipe to, or I mean a stone transport pipe to funnel off the apples. Looks like up is white, so I'll funnel off the apples and put them in a crystal chest. My inventory's been completely destroyed. This is my first video, so sorry about that. And all the apples will go there. Alright, finally, planter with your emerald upgrade. That's not what I meant to click. And there you go, and as soon as a system has power, it will start working. And of course it's going to run slow at first, and it's not going to produce much because it's just starting up. But eventually, it will produce just like that one over there, except with one side. That was not my intention. At all. Alright, good start, good start. That's what happens when I shift click with lava instead of just clicking with lava. I don't know how many buckets these can actually hold. Looks like 4. Perfect. So you just fill these up with lava initially, and you can, if you have, like I did previously, set up, because this is a much easier system for non-truly infinite lava. If you have this system set up, you can just take buckets and just take lava straight out of here. Oh, okay. Well, apparently in creative mode, it just deletes the lava. Cool. But yeah, you can just take that straight out there, so you could easily provide lava for this. And so these are creating power, powering the planter, which has been planting. As you can see, a tree has already grown. And the way that the harvester works is it runs back and forth like this planter does. As far as I've noticed, it runs back and forth like this, and then it harvests as it reaches things. So the reason it's not immediately harvesting these trees is because it hasn't hit them on its back and forth yet. I believe if I take the upgrade out and put them back in, it will reset the back and forth and it should hit these trees faster. Maybe. Yep, there we go. Perfect. So that's what the harvester looks like. Yeah, and it's very loud. So that's another reason to keep this away from the lag and the noise. And then harvester collects and sorts the apples from before. The wood goes into here, creates charcoal, charcoal goes into here, creates lava, lava gets pumped into here. There it goes. The lava then gets pumped out to these magmatic engines, and the whole system keeps going. Just gained a little bit of lava, and these are going to drain, and it's not going to be, there it goes, it's not going to be 100% efficient, but the more it harvests, more efficient it'll become, and eventually you will get something like this. It's just full of trees being constantly harvested and constantly creating power. Alright, so that is it. That is my infinite lava generator in Tekkit. You do get these apples and these saplings from decaying, so that is also kind of annoying. They just kind of float around, eventually go away. But nonetheless, it works. I have no overflow in this. That's one thing that you could add, because eventually this will fill up with apples, and the wood chest in the back, if it hasn't already, will fill up with extra wood. And so it's just going to start spitting that out. Yeah. It's just going to start spitting that out. And so you could create an overflow system. Like I said, I originally built this in space, so my overflow system was the void. Just threw it into the atmosphere. But that's, it could improve the system. You could probably do some more calculations on what exactly is needed. You could probably deal with less aqueous accumulators. You could probably make it more efficient somehow, but it does work. It does produce a lot of lava, and in turn you can use that to produce, with magmatic engines, a lot of energy. Very similar to this, just actually truly infinite. Never have to go back to it once you make it. Alright, or if you need lava for anything else, all yours. So that is my tutorial on how to make infinite lava in Tekkit. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. If you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe. I'm trying to do more videos on really anything. Gaming, I play plenty of other games. I've gotten into Battlefield recently, Counter-Strike, Terraria is one of my favorites. Just name it if you want me to play it, and I will play it. And yeah, again, these, well, I took some stuff out, but this is Power Fist for lighting. This is just mostly what you need. One more time. And yeah, happy crafting. Hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching.